Hi, John. Welcome back. I wanted to talk to you about that new case in the U.S. Court of Appeals, essentially affirming the lower court to say that essentially it's unconstitutional for people to ban individuals from secretly recording police. I know that in the past it was that screwy wiretap statute that it really wasn't the video that was the issue regarding the recording of police, but it was more the sound that under the wiretap statute. How's that kind of changed the things in from what you see in terms of your cases?
That's a great question, and that's one, especially in Massachusetts, where from the other side of things, the wiretap statute is so broad, and it's a felony in Massachusetts to unlawfully record somebody without their permission or consent. And again, that deals more with the audio rather than the video, and so that's something that varies state to state, right? Because some states there is no issue with that, but Massachusetts, again, like I said, makes it a felony. And of course, we've had issues where, I've had other lawyers from different practices advise people to record their conversations in like a landlord-tenant setting, and then turn that over in discovery. And then the next thing you know, I got a client who's being charged with a felony for violating the wiretap statute. So. Right. That's just something that not a lot of people are aware of. Now, in terms of recording the police, that's something that, from our perspective, can be very helpful, especially in the context of drunk driving. Had it happen in the past where people have had their own like dash cams in some of the newer high-end cars, and the initial stop and interaction with the police officer is very different than what the police officer's report stated, so where there was a 5-minute interaction before he asked, Jason Chan to get out of the car, the video shows the officer walk right up and say, shut it off, get out, and so there's, obviously it's a game over, for them, in our situation, that there was no probable cause to have the person exit the vehicle. But this is something that has been really coming down the pipeline for quite some time now, in terms of recording the police in their own, line of duty, as they're
Right.
doing it.
So we want to be specific about this. This doesn't allow you to record them in their house or in the unofficial capacity. So it really talks about audio recordings of law enforcement officers performing their official duties in public spaces, right? So it's still somewhat limited, and that's right. It has nothing to do with their personal lives, has nothing to do with a secret space, because we are a two-party consent state when it comes to recordings. Right. So, you cannot go and record a police officer at their home when they're not performing their job. That's right. Still illegal to do. And I certainly wouldn't want to be the first person to test that in terms of the two-party consent stage in people in terms of their unofficial capacity, because this case law is pretty clear. It's essentially people trying to hold people accountable for wrongdoing in their official capacities. And they would say, essentially, the appeals judge said, well, if the person is aware of it, then that can also put the person recording the police officer in danger. And that was one of the concerns that they would have. And that's why secret audio recording is essentially allowed, and by banning it is a violation of someone's First Amendment rights. So I think that is somewhat of a game changer in terms of making people feel more at ease in terms of some of these communications and being able to interact with police in a different way. But like you said, a lot of times these are strong pieces of evidence to show what actually happened on that day.
Right. And I think it protects both actors in that situation, right? And in terms of the suspect, so to speak, and the officer. And this goes the other way too, with the, especially here in Massachusetts, with the onset of more departments getting dash cams and body cams on police officers. I've had many conversations with state troopers and local and city officers, who some have mixed feelings about the order that they have to be wearing a body cam. But I've told them that over the last 4 or 5 years, Boston rolled that out 4 or 5 years ago, where they did a voluntary, body cam,
The pilot
rollout
program that they
for,
rolled out for a while.
I think 100. Yeah, right. And it wasn't all of them, but I had quite a few cases, and to me, it almost makes our job a little easier because there it is. There's the issue as it happened, and the police officer's conduct is captured on tape. So is the defendant in that situation, and so it takes a lot of the guessing out of it. But for me, for someone who say is trying to help a police officer in that situation, I mean, to me, that's the ultimate form of protection, against any accusation of them for misconduct is, you have a body camera on, and that's going to show what exactly took place, what you said, how you interacted. So I think it's a good thing as we're progressing. Again, I think Massachusetts is probably late to the game with these as usual, but it's good to see that, the kind of law is allowing for this to take place.
Yeah, we'll see how it develops in the future. But thanks for coming on and talking about this important case today.
No problem, Jay. Thanks for having me.